John Victor Shea III is an American actor and director who has starred on stage, television and in film. He is best known for his role as Lex Luthor in the 1990s TV series Lois Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and also starred in the short-lived 1990s TV series WIOU as Hank Zaret. Later on in the 2000s he starred on the series Mutant X as Adam Kane. Early life: Shea was born in North Conway, New Hampshire, near where his father was teaching at Feuerberg Academy, Maine, and was raised in the 16 acres area of Springfield, Massachusetts with 4 siblings. His parents were Elizabeth Mary and Dr. John Victor Shea, Jr., who served in the U.S. Army during World War II, fighting in the Battle of the Bulge, who became a teacher, coach and later assistant superintendent of schools. Elizabeth Shea introduced John to literature, poetry, classical music, and art and urged him to study the piano. Shea attended Roman Catholic schools in Springfield, graduating from Cathedral High School, where he captained the varsity debate team and played varsity football and track. Shea received his early theater training at Bates College. He performed on the varsity debating and football teams and co-edited the college literary magazine, Puffed Wheat, before graduating with a BA in 1970. He studied acting and directing at the Yale School of Drama under Dean Robert Brustein, gaining an MFA in directing in 1973. During his time at the School of Drama, he also performed at the Yale Repertory Theatre, in the Yale Cabaret with schoolmates Joe Gaiferzi and Meryl Streep, and studied filmmaking with Arthur Penn, Sidney Lumet, and George Roy Hill in the film program at the Art and Architecture School. In 1973, after 2 summers during college acting in Mac Dixon's theater workshop of Nantucket Productions, Shea worked with John Walp's Nantucket Stage Company as an assistant director and actor in a production of Dracula. This production, with set and costume designs by Edward Gorey, later transferred from Nantucket to Broadway. Stage and screen debuts: after a directing apprenticeship at both the Chelsea Theatre under Robert Calfin and the Public Theatre with Joseph Papp, he made his Broadway debut at the age of 26 in Calfin's production of Isaac B. Singer's Yentl opposite Tovah Feldshuh, for which he received the Theatre World Award. Yentl started off-Broadway at the Chelsea Theatre Center at the Brooklyn Academy of Music and, after a favorable reception, was moved to the Eugene O'Neill Theatre by producer and Actors Studio co-founder, Cheryl Crawford, and was later made into a film starring Barbra Streisand. After seeing his performance, Lee Strasberg invited Shea to join the Actors Studio, where he spent several years observing method acting techniques. In 1977, during his first trip to Los Angeles to get experience in front of a camera, he played guest roles in such TV series as 8 Is Enough and Man from Atlantis, and co-starred in The Last Convertible, a mini-series for Universal. He made his television film debut as Joseph in The Nativity opposite Madeleine Stowe as Mary, a biblical epic shot in Spain. His feature film debut came in Matthew Chapman's English film noir Hussy opposite Helen Mirren. His American film debut was in Konstantin Costa-Gavras' Academy Award-winning Missing, which starred Jack Lemmon and Sissy Spacek. The film, shot on locations in Mexico, also won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and helped launch Shea's international acting career. Film: since Missing, Shea has starred in many films, including Armin Bernstein's Windy City. In 1982, he co-hosted, with Catherine Walker, the June 12 anti-nuclear rally in Central Park, the largest political rally in the history of the United States. This rally was the subject of the 1984 documentary film In Our Hands by Robert Richer and Stan Warno, in which he appeared. He made his debut into Indian cinema with the 2009 Tamil drama Achka Mundu. Achka Mundu. Directed by Indo-American film director Arun Vaidyanathan, becoming the first American actor to work in a Tamil film. In his only animated film, Light Years, directed by Harvey Weinstein, Shea voiced the central character Sylvan. Shea recently wrote and directed Grey Lady, a romantic thriller set on Nantucket, starring Eric Dane, Natalie Z, Adrian Lester, Carolyn Stotsbury, Chris Mayer, and Amy Madigan. The independent film, produced by Beacon Pictures and shot by Andrzej Bartkowiak, is currently in post-production. Independent films Shea has also starred in a number of independent films, including The Adventures of Sebastian Cole with Adrian Grenier, Scott Acko's political thriller The Insurgents with Mary Stuart Masterson, An Invisible Sign with Jessica Alba, and Jim Hemphill's romantic comedy The Trouble with the Truth with Lee Thompson. Shea co-wrote and directed the independent film Southeast starring Donnie Wahlberg, Rose McGowan, Amanda Peet, Ann Miara, Will Arnett and Lawrence Tierney. The film won the Seattle International Film Festival Award for Best Film, represented the United States at the Montreal International Festival, and was distributed by Lionsgate Films. Stage work. Since his Broadway debut in Yentl, Shea has continued to work in off-Broadway and Broadway theater productions, starring in Arthur Kopit's End of the World starring with Linda Hunt and Barnard Hughes, directed by Hal Prince. Paula Vogel's Pulitzer Prize-winning How I Learned to Drive with Molly Ringwald. Ann Miara's Down the Garden Paths, with Eli Wallach and Ann Jackson. Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night at Chicago's Goodman Theatre. The original production of Aya Gurney's The Dining Room at Playwrights Horizons. Peter Parnell's The Sorrows of Stephen at the Public Theatre. Stephen Poliakoff's American Days at the Manhattan Theatre Club. Theodore Mann's production of Romeo and Juliet on Broadway at Circle in the Square. Philip Barry's The Animal Kingdom opposite Sigourney Weaver directed by John Wulp. The title role in Nancy Hastie's The Director. And Israel Horowitz's The Secret of Madame Bernard's Bath on Theatre Row. Shea is the artistic director emeritus of the Theatre Workshop of Nantucket, where he helped produce 40 productions and acted in David Harrower's Blackbird, a revival of The Director, in Donald Margulies' Time Stands Still, and, annually, in Orson Welles' Moby Dick rehearsed, in which he plays Ahab. In the summer of 2013 he directed a 40th anniversary production of Edward Gorey's Dracula. Shea made his Carnegie Hall debut playing the soldier in Tom O'Hagan's production of Igor Stravinsky's L'Histoire du Soldat, with Pinchas Zukerman and André de Shields. In 1986, he made his London West End debut starring in Joseph Papp's production of Larry Kramer's drama The Normal Heart at the Albury Theatre. Shea is also a regular reader on selected shorts for Symphony Space, broadcast nationwide on Public Radio International. His reading of Truman Capote's A Christmas Memory won AudioFile magazine's Earphones Award in 1999, as part of the anthology Selected Shorts, Classic Tales, Vol. 12. For his work reading Ted Bell's international thriller Assassin, Shea received an Audie Award nomination as Best Male Narrator. He performed all of Bell's other novels, Hawk, Spy, Pirate, Tsar, Warlord, Phantom, Warrior, Nick of Time, and The Time Pirate, among other audiobooks, including Jonathan Tropper's One Last Thing Before I Go, for which he won an AudioFile Award. Television. Besides his more high-profile starring roles in the television series Lois and Clark and Mutant X, Shea's diverse international television work includes guest appearances on TV series Sex and the City, Law & Order, and Law & Order, Criminal Intent, as well as being a recurring character on Gossip Girl and The Good Wife. In Grant Tinker's CBS series WIOU, written by John Eisendrath and Catherine Pratt, Shea led an ensemble cast. Among his television films he was featured in Family Reunion playing Bette Davis, attorney and former student. He starred in Small Sacrifices, and also in Jim Goddard's British production of Kennedy, starring Martin Sheen and Blair Brown, in which Shea portrayed Robert F. Kennedy. Kennedy won the BAFTA Award for Best Television Film. Personal life. John has been married twice. He and his first wife, photographer Laura P. Tybone, had one child together, Jake. He and his current wife, the artist Melissa McLeod, a co-founder of the Cooperative Gallery on Nantucket, have two children, Miranda and Caden. Selected filmography. References. External links: John Shea at the Internet Movie Database, John Shea at the Internet Broadway Database, John Shea at the Internet Off-Broadway Database.